What's happening, Shredder Nation? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to episode number 45. Holy smokes, episode 45 of Shred Your Body. I'm your host, Jesse James Jamnik. If we've never met before, hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. Fist bump, virtual handshake, high five, whatever the case may be. As you come in, do me a huge favor. Tonight, this is a little different. Usually Tuesdays we save for another interview. We break apart a story, we tear it apart, we give some inspiration. Hopefully somebody can relate to it. That person can then seek some inspiration. That's the ripple effect, right? That's the ripple effect of it. But before we get going, I need to celebrate. I need to celebrate with all of you who are doing such an amazing job. So we're going to crack a cold one. And cheers to every single one of you who are smashing your goals. And you're like, oh my God, Jesse's drinking? Nope. This is my treat. These are my little Zevia root beers. Although I do drink beer. Every now and then I do drink beer. Listen. What's up, Brad? As you come in, say hello. If we've never met, let me know your name. Let me know where you're calling in from. The ERSHRED in the beginning stages has already gone worldwide. I am anxious to see how far we can get it. I'm anxious to see what the ripple effect does, as we continue to inspire ourselves. We magically inspire other people. It's one of the greatest things that I've ever seen happen. And it all starts with first helping one person, and that's yourself, if you're a person that needs that help. And then from there, usually the people that are closest to you, family, friends, significant others, whatever the case, co-workers, when somebody makes a drastic change, it's very, very obvious. And the other people around them go, hey, what the hell's going on? I want in. You might have found us that way. You might have been there. And by the way, if you are brand new to the ERSHRED family, welcome to the family. I'm happy that you're here. I say family because for me, over the last year, this has turned into one of the most inspirational, just epic things that I've ever been blessed to be a part of in my life. We had this vision, back in the beginning, Sean, Crystal, myself, we knew the power of this. We knew if we could just get somebody to do it, that it would drastically alter the course of their life. And, we started with like, hey, let's see if we can help 5 people. And what started there has now turned into, as you guys see as part of our group, thousands of people. We have 500 to 600 new people asking to be a part of this community, be a part of this family every single month, all the way through the summer when it was supposed to be dead time, when people were out doing whatever. And what we've done is we have drastically shifted the way that we attack let's call it diet, personal health, nutrition, whatever the case may be. And it's the coolest thing ever because, it's so different that it has that shock awe, which is awesome. And then at the same time, it creates such an impact on somebody's life that it's so cool because you get to see it kind of all transpire, and it's just the coolest thing ever. So welcome to the family. How are you? I've already said that. Tonight, I want to touch on a couple key things that hopefully can help some of you break free. I want to touch on two big things. Two big things. Don't mind me. My life has been an absolute upside down roller coaster over the last month. If you've been following along, we took a little summer trip. We ripped our entire house apart all before the baby was due. I've literally been going nonstop every waking second that I have, early in the morning, late at night, getting the house ready for the babe who's due in 28 days or less. Actually, today's the 21st. Due date is 19th of next month. So we're excited about that. And I have officially accomplished every major task inside the house, from building a shiplap fireplace wall to painting every ceiling, stripping all the woodwork, redoing all of that, getting the hardwood floors done, every light switch, new lights, new stuff. I mean, it's just been absolutely nuts. So it's a cool thing. But I want to share lifestyle with you guys, which is number one. That's one topic. And then the other big topic that I have been so needing to get to, and I've just not had time, and I figured tonight's the perfect night. But this is for the athletes that are out there. And I don't mean somebody who runs marathons. I don't mean somebody who is a bodybuilder. Yes, those are athletes by definition, but I'm talking about the everyday athlete. I'm talking about you and I'm talking about moms and dads. I'm talking about people who are running races with work and balance of family life. And to me, that's an athlete. An athlete moves in all directions. An athlete's mind is on point. An athlete's in tune with their body. That's what I want to talk to you about, and how we can shred doing athletic stuff. Maybe you went from not working out at all to you're working out 4 or 5 times a week, because all of a sudden you have this newfound energy. All of a sudden you don't feel like you want to just be planted your ass on the couch all day long. You feel the need to get up and move. That's amazing. Full-time massage therapist. There you go, right? All day, every day, boom, 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 boom. So I want to share with you my secrets, my tips that I've been able to find over the years and stumble across, and what I've tried and tested in things like the Spartan Death Race that went for 3 days long, things like the Georgia Death Race that was 78 miles and 17,000 feet of elevation up and down, things like Squamish 50-50, which is 50 miles on day one, wake up and do a 50K the very next day. That's in Squamish, British Columbia. You're talking serious elevation. I want to share those tips with you. And tonight, I'm only broadcasting this in our ERSHRED community. Yep, it will be on YouTube. Yep, it will be on our podcast. But I'm sharing it with you guys only. The person who just said they lost audio, that might be your computer. Somebody else let me know if you can still hear me before I dive into this, because I definitely don't want any of this information to get lost. With that, here we go. ERSHRED. What is the ERSHRED? The ERSHRED is very simple. It's an elimination, reset, shred protocol. Those of you that have been a part of this for a long time, you're masters at this by now. I'm seeing names coming on here. Brad, Tracy, who else is on here? I know Mimi's on here somewhere. She's always on here. Heidi, all these, Heather, Brent, Melissa, all these people, you are ERSHRED masters in my world, right? You are people who are here, and you, my friends, the names that I've just mentioned, along with hundreds of other names, they have cracked the code, and they learned the secret to mastering the ERSHRED lifestyle. And get a notebook, get a pen, because here's the secret. I'm going to share it with you right now. I'm going to share with you how you're able to accomplish everything in life, how life can throw twists and turns at you, how the most pressure and stress of everyday things can come at you, i.e. my entire rip apart of my house, a very, very set timeline, things had to get done. Oh, by the way, my dad tested positive for COVID in between there. Oops, I work with him every day. I'm very close with him. Oh my God, Crystal and I were living with him. We're negative. He's positive. How do you deal with that stress? How do you balance everything? How is it that I'm able to go? People are like, man, you're always going. You're always on the move. You always have this energy no matter when I see you. And what you have to understand is that this is a culmination of 20 years of me where I'm at right now. 20 years. Now I'm 42 years old. I just celebrated my 42nd birthday this past weekend. And by the way, thank you so much to every single one of you that commented. Thank you, Sean and Crystal, for the amazing video. You guys seriously mean the world to me. I've just not had time, so thank you so much. But how is it that I'm able to cope with all of this? How is it that I'm able to have this energy? How is it that when things get stressful, I don't want to run to a candy bar? I don't want to run to a key lime pie. I don't want to run to potato chips. I don't want to run to any of that bullshit, to be honest with you. For me, it doesn't even sound tempting at all. It doesn't even sound delicious at all. Does that mean that I'll never have it? Nope. And we'll get to that in a few minutes. But how is it that I'm able to do that? Well, all of those names that I just mentioned to you, including myself, including people like Sean and Bob and Susan and Crystal, and gosh, I can go on and on and on. But these people have learned a trick that some of you have not grasped. Some of you that might be listening to this right now, or you might be listening to this later on, some of you might not grasp this. The ERSHRED lifestyle works the best when you get out of your own freaking way. The ERSHRED lifestyle works the best when you get out of your own freaking way. When you stop looking at this like another 11-day diet and then you're done. When you stop looking at this like, oh my God, I should celebrate with all the alcohol in the world and pizza because I was disciplined for 11 days, so I deserve that. When you lose that losing mindset, and I'm sorry to just call you out like that, but that's what it is. I'm not here to be your friend. I am here to get things done. That's what health coaches do. So please look at it that way. I'm not picking on you. I am helping you, right? So when you understand the mindset, if you do an 11-day ERSHRED and you go back to whatever bullshit you were doing before, meaning you were over consuming sugar, you were over consuming flour, you were not being as active as you should be, you were over consuming alcoholic beverages, you were over consuming candy, you were making up some lame ass excuse on why you needed to shove a Butterfinger down your throat or why you couldn't resist the entire bag of potato chips. And yes, I'm telling you, that's a lame ass excuse that you are making for yourself. It is time to harden up a little bit, my friends, and suck it up a little bit and realize that you said yes for a reason. And I want to encourage you to hold yourself to that reason for a lot longer than 11 days. If your health is not worth longer than 11 days in your mind, I have no time for you. I have zero time for you. I just can't. I can't deal with it. I just can't deal with lame ass excuses. I have made them in the past. It ruined my life. I cannot deal with them. I refuse to deal with them. Just like I refuse to deal with negative energy. If you are an energy vampire, you are out of my life in 2.2 seconds. That's if you get 2.2 seconds. I do not allow that shit into my life. So when it comes to this, you need to suck it up. You need to be disciplined. One of the most amazing gifts, and I say gift, one of the most amazing gifts that all of the heartache and all of the pain and all of the misery and all of the times I don't even know what I wanted to do. But all of those times, the gift that ultra marathoning gave me was the gift to realize that I am an epic human being. I can accomplish anything that somebody sets in front of me if I so choose. If I so choose. Because there are definitely things in my life that I so choose to do that. And there are other things in my life that I don't know why I can't figure out to choose that way. You see, I'm not perfect. I'm working. I'm constantly a work in progress. But when it comes to my health, I understood a very, very long time ago, thankfully, and this was through a lot of trials and tribulations. This was through a lot of me being just a jackass, me treating myself not good, years of doing drugs, years of ecstasy, years of just not good things, years of alcohol consumption, years of just not taking care of my body, years of not going to bed till 5 a.m. in the morning, the complete opposite of the circadian rhythm of our life. You know, years of that stuff, me being a complete jackass to finally getting to a place where I appreciated the value of the greatest gift that I've ever gotten in my life, my body. It's free and we take it for granted. It's free and we take it for granted. Stop taking it for granted. I had to ask myself, is it really worth shitting on yourself? Well, what are you supposed to say to that? Hey, is it really worth going outside and urinating all over yourself? Do you enjoy it? Well, that's basically what you're doing to yourself. Okay. Now, Jesse, why do I use these things? Because you have to think of it like this. That's what you're doing. So I'm giving you these examples. Remember, the main topic is how do you smash the ERSHRED lifestyle? You don't quit. You don't keep going back and forth. You're not a freaking yo-yo. You're not a spin toy. You're not a boomerang. You don't go out and come back. You need to go out and never come back. Never come back to the starting point. You don't deserve the starting point. You are so much better than the starting point. So you need to find out why you want to keep going out and defecating on yourself. You need to ask yourself the tough questions of why am I doing this to myself? Why do I feel unworthy of good health? Why do I feel unworthy of self-confidence? Why do I feel unworthy of self-love? Why do I feel like I should put other people before myself? Those are high mileage questions. Those are powerful questions. They don't command a yes or no answer. They command you looking at yourself in the mirror, you sitting down with a journal and you start writing to yourself and you be open. If you have to cry for hours, you cry for hours. If you have to come back because it's too much, you come back because it's too much. You sit in the shit. You sit in the discomfort. You sit in the agony and the pain. Remember, the greatest gift that ultramarathoning gave me was the gift to know that I'm not going to be worse off on the other side. Even though I feel like I am. Even though while during the process, I feel like I want to die. I feel like my feet are going to burn literally a hole in themselves. When my big toenails fall off because they're so bruised from jabbing in the front of my foot, running down 4,000 feet at a time, I realized that if I just learned to tap into my thought process, I learned that by studying different things along the way, part of it is the psychology, the way the brain works, learning how to control the subconscious mind, learning how to control the little naysayer thoughts that told me I wasn't good enough, that told me I wasn't worthy, that told me I was a lowlife, that told me I wasn't comparable to the doctor or the lawyer or the person that had some degree. The little piece of shit thought process that goes on inside that brain of ours, I've learned through the process of failure and agony and frustration and miserable situations in my life, whether that was drugs or ultramarathoning or very, very poor decisions that I chose to make and had to suffer very, very hard consequences for those decisions that I've made. I've learned in that process, just like I know so many of you have learned throughout life, except I decided to choose at one point in time to put an end. And if you're going to succeed at something like this, The ER shred, in my opinion, from 20 years of helping people and 20 years of you know what makes me, you know what I think makes me good at this? I'm going to brag for a second. What makes me good at this is not the fact that I got a stupid degree. It's not the fact that I went to IIN and learned 100 different dietary theories. It's not the fact that I have done it, you know, for whatever different classes and money. It's none of that. What makes me good at this is I'm literally a real life human, just like you. And I made a decision to change my life. Now, when it came to health and nutrition, that was top of my list. Business, life, money, relationships, learning how to love myself, learning how to share emotions with other people, because I'm not. Well, I used to think I wasn't an emotional person. Learning how to deal with that and break out of that shell, that mask of masculinity. I learned that from a book, Lewis Howes. I've never stopped trying to learn. And every time I failed miserably, I just dusted myself off and got back up again and kept going. And I took what worked and I kept applying it and left what didn't. And those leaving processes are years. Understand, it's years, thousands of hours, thousands of dollars to get to today. And I'm not even, there's no perfection. I always want to be better. I always want to be healthier. I always want to be a little notch above. I have dreams of climbing mountains at 90. I want to do all these epic things with my kids. I want to be the grandpa who's still wakeboarding on the back of the boat. I don't want to just be driving the goddamn thing. Do you understand? For me, being healthy, it was everything. It helped me through the situations when I got in trouble, when I made bad decisions. It helped me through the relationship problems, my divorce. It helped me through having a midlife crisis at 30 years old and not knowing which fucking direction was up and down. It helped me have some sort of faith in life that I wanted to live because I felt better about myself in the times when I didn't think that there was a reason to live. So for me, it was that. And I want to share with you that. And I'm so passionate about nutrition and health and getting people to understand this, that I will keep bugging them because I don't feel like I'm a burden. You might think I'm a burden at first, but I promise you I'm doing it because I know what it can do on the inside. I know how it can literally support you. Health is the foundation. And without a foundation, you can't build anything. And if you build a foundation, if you build a house on a cracked foundation, over time, what's going to happen? The foundation is going to crack and the house is going to fall. So health is that foundation. And I believe our health is our greatest wealth. So you need to make a decision and you need to stop this bullshit of going off and coming back and going off and coming back. I'm going to be very, very transparent with you, if I'm not already. For those of you, I hold back when I see I got off the shred for a while, but I'm back now, and you're looking for a celebration. I don't want to celebrate you. I want to smack you. And I want to be like, why'd you leave? Why would you do something where you have such amazing results that you've never had before and never experienced before in anything you've done? You crack the code and then you walk away. Ask yourself the high mileage questions. Why do you not deserve success? Why do you not deserve self-love? Why do you feel like you should defecate on yourself? Okay. So make that commitment. Now, great info, Jesse. Hopefully. How is it that you do this every day? How is it that you live life every day? How do you go out with friends? How do you go out to restaurants? How do you live with a significant other that still likes to eat a lot of carbs? How do you cook like that? I do it every single day. I'm the chef in my house, and my pregnant wifey, she loves her bagels still, and she loves her pasta, and she loves all that stuff. I don't, right? So here's the thing. It's literally the same thing as the 11-day. You see, what I want to do is I want to teach you to fish. I can only put the worm on the hook for you so long, and you eventually have to learn how to hook your own worm. And eventually we'll graduate to minnows, and you got to learn how to hook them in the back without killing them. So I'll help you first. I'll help you. And then eventually I need you to hook your own minnow, because if you can't hook your own minnow, you can't catch your food. And if you can't catch your food, you're going to starve. So why don't you just tell me what foods to eat? I don't know what foods you should eat. I know what foods you should stay away from. I know that I would highly recommend that you stay away from anything that has added sugar. Anything. If it's on the label, if it's in the first 3 ingredients, put it back. It's full of shit. See, by law, they have to list the highest concentration to the lowest concentration in the ingredients, not the label. Don't worry about the label. The label's bullshit. Worry about the ingredients. And don't look at the front, because that's a lie. Look at the ingredients. So if it has sugar or any form of sugar, honey, organic honey, I can't even think, syrup, organic syrup, agave, organic agave, all different names for sugar. Sugar is death. Sugar is literally legal cocaine. And a lot of people are overdosing. The scary part is you don't drop dead right away if you overdose on this kind of drug. It takes years, and those years are painful. And you keep getting sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker until you get to a point where you go boom. So look at the ingredient label. If it has sugar, get rid of it. I'd highly recommend that you don't add sugar. I would also highly recommend that you don't add processed flour. You know, I'm going to break a myth right now. People in the fitness world, they try to argue with me sometimes. They say to me, well, why should I eliminate an entire food group? And I'm like, well, can you name me one carbohydrate that's essential? You didn't lose audio. I was just waiting for the answer. There's no essential thing. There's no essential carbohydrates. Can carbohydrates be beneficial? 100%. 1,000%. You got to learn how to use them properly, and they don't really deserve a place in your body until you get way past where some of you are at. You need certain amounts of carbs to feed your brain. This is why in the ERSHRED protocol, we have our delicious shakes. We have our bone broths. We have our other things that are providing you those things. And the rest of it, we're teaching you to become fat adapted. My friends, your body is designed to function off of fat. And when you get that fire burning, watch out. Watch out. You won't be going back and forth between shreds. It's not going to happen. So here's what I do. I stay away from sugars. I stay away from processed flours. I stay away from candy. I stay away from baked goods. I stay away from all of those things. However, every now and then, I want one. Not because I'm craving it, not for any other reason besides I feel like having a piece of a cinnamon bun. I feel like having a little bit of ice cream. I feel like having a little bit of an organic chocolate chip cookie. Maybe the whole thing. Depends how I'm feeling. I feel like having a little tiny bit of the mac and cheese that Crystal is eating half a plate of. I feel like, do you understand? So as I'm out and about, if you know, I don't go out to eat that much, but I know some of you are what you call foodies. I'm what I call a lifey. I like to experience life. Food is my fuel that allows me to experience life. That's my thought process. You can share it if you wish. That's up to you. You can adopt it, steal it, whatever. It's served me very well. It's helped a lot of other people. Yes, that's why you have a love affair with Kerrygold butter. Absolutely. You love fat. When other people feel like they're dragging ass and they go, oh my God, I need an energy drink. Oh my God, I need a candy bar. Oh my God, I need a soda. They don't need that. They need the fucking fix that they gave. I said it. Sorry. They need the fix that they gave themselves. It's like crack cocaine. It's like drugs. So when you eat sugar, your insulin spikes. When that effect goes off, it drops. When that drops, you create a hormone called adrenaline. Adrenaline goes into cortisol. That creates the feeling and the signal to your brain that says, I need more, I need more, I need more. And it's literally like a nagging thing that you can't get rid of. Have you experienced that before? Those of you that are sugar addicts in your past life before you became ER shredders, of course you have. That's how 90% of America fluctuates every day. Spike, down, spike, down. So you're now looking for fat. Your body needs energy, you eat fat. I feel sluggish, I eat fat. I eat cheese. I eat butter. I eat avocado. I eat some healthy nuts. I eat something with a little bit of give me up and go. Butter, fat, because fat to me is energy, like sugar to the average American is energy, because they haven't learned to shift their body. They're still fueling on glucose, carbohydrates, and sugar. They're not fueling on fat. So how do I live every life? So I don't go out that much, but when I do, I use common sense. So if there's nothing on the menu, I hear this all the time. Oh my God, the restaurant offered nothing. They offered nothing? No way. Let me look it up for you. Oh, look, here's 5 things. What are you talking about? Well, that steak came with potatoes. That steak came with French fries. Did you ever think of asking the waiter if you could swap your French fries with green beans or the vegetable of the day? Well, it comes with a veggie and French fries. Did you ever think of asking if you could maybe double up on the veggies and skip the French fries? Or the mac and cheese? Or the bread? Salmon with veggies. Doesn't have to be a baked potato. Doesn't have to be a starch. Do you understand? Do you understand? It's so easy if you just use your common sense. Now, there's going to be times when you're out and about. Oh my God, if I go out shopping or I go out to I go out to a place that has a food court. Dude, it's like setting you up for failure. It's like every smell in the world, all these things. Do you realize that you eat with your nose and your eyes before it ever touches your lips? This is why any good restaurateur or chef will tell you that plating is like what makes or breaks a lot of high-end places. Plating is so key. Look at any chef show. Plating is where it's at. You eat with your eyes and your nose. So when you go out and you are trying to be good and you're tempted with the smells of fresh baked pretzels and fresh baked bread and fresh cinnamon buns and cotton candy. And my God, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. When you go out, how do you win? Well, two things. One, self-discipline. Why? Because you know that if you eat that, depending upon the place that you're at, I've already shared with you how I can fit things in, depending upon where you're at, depending upon your goals, how long you've been living it, where you're at in your process, what you're still looking to do. There's a lot of ifs in this equation. You can either A, choose to eat it and suffer the consequence. Okay, so be it. Zero guilt, zero anything. Do it because you want to, and that's the only freaking reason. And then move on with your life and get back into it. It's one choice out of all the others. It's not going to break you unless you haven't cured. Like, I could eat that crap and go, I'm not sure if I like it or not anymore. It's got a little bit of a good taste. Wow, that's really sweet. Okay, I'm done. Where other people that will trigger the past. And if you're there, don't do it. You can have self-discipline and suck it up and just move on. You're not going to die without it. There's nobody standing there holding a gun to your head saying, if you don't eat the cinnamon bun, I'm going to blow your brains out. That's not happening. So you make a decision. The other thing that I always do, I never go out hungry. This is huge. I never leave my house hungry. And if I do leave my house where I haven't eaten in, say, like an hour and a half, I know that around 2.5, 3 hours, that's Papa Bear's feeding time. I bring something with me. I bring a shake with me. I bring a meat stick with 2 cheese sticks. I bring a shake with me. I bring a bar with me. I bring a handful of nuts. Sometimes if I'm going out, I bring my cooler. If Crystal and I know we're going out for 3 or 4 hours, there's never an opportunity that if I walk past something and I go, wow, that smells so good, I'm tempted and I want to buy it. And I know if I buy it, it's not going to be good. I know I'm okay if I do it, but I still don't want to do it, but I'm really, really hungry. I know that if I say no, I get to my cooler, I can have a bar. I can have a meat stick. I can have a cheese stick. I can have something that's going to serve my body. Remember, food for me is not like food for some people. Food is not entertainment in my world. I don't live my life entertained by food. Food is my fuel. Food gives me gas to giddy up and go and get shit done in life that needs to get done because I got huge visions and dreams. They're going to come true. They're going to be a reality, but I need the energy. I need my health. I can't be sick. So I'm making these choices throughout every day and these little tiny choices. Oh, I passed up a pretzel one time. Good job. I passed that up one time. I passed that up. Now, if you did that 4 times in a week, 4 times in a week times 4 weeks is 16 chances that you chose to put rocket fuel in your body and actually give your cells the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients they need to thrive, perform, prevent disease, function, develop new, all the good stuff that happens inside. 16 extra chances than if you would have said yes and slipped and put 16 doses of poison into your body. 16 times in a month. Now, for some people, that's enough to make a drastic difference. As you continue in your shredding journey or in your health journey, and you start to get healthier and healthier, your body starts to process things very, very differently. So if you have a little bit of a whatever, indulgence, treat, whatever you want to call it, if you have a little bit of that, whatever you do, just don't call it a cheat because you're not cheating anybody. This is a choice. So if you choose to do that later on down the road and your hormones aren't all out of whack, You got control of your insulin. It's not spiking up and down. If you eat that little bit of extra sugar, your body will actually do what it's supposed to do. Release a little bit of insulin. The insulin does its job. It manages the sugar. It regulates your hormones. Boof, back down to normal it goes. And that's the process, right? So that's how it works. So everyday living is like that. You can go out to eat. You can go to a friend's house. Now, if you go to a party, bring something with you. If you're out at relatives' homes and they don't have everything that you want, go to the grocery store. If it's just a short period of time, suck it up. It's not the end of the world. See, some of you think that if you make one little bit of mistake, it's like, oh my God. It's like you're the drama queen or the drama king. You're like, you made a mistake. You fell off the bandwagon. It's like, oh my God. And then for some reason, you feel the need to ruin the entire day. You feel the need to ruin the entire week. It's like the person who can't get over their fucking road rage. That somebody cuts them off. Now, granted, you get mad, right? But you've done it too. Sometimes it's an accident. It's not meant on purpose. You get mad, you blow on the horn, you whatever. Then you're the person that gets to work and you're still talking about it. At the end of the day, you got to come home and tell your significant other. It's like, did you really just let that affect your entire day? Well, it's the same exact thing if you do it with your health. It's like, if you have a little bit of an oops, just get back up. Just dust yourself off and keep going. If you fall off a little bit, don't be a jackass and let it go forever. Get back on track. If you have an off day, make it one off day. Don't do it for longer. Again, are you worth defecating on yourself? Gosh, that's such a harsh way to look at it. But God, I hope it sticks into your brains. Okay. That's ERSHRED lifestyling. That's how you do it every day. Now, if you have to understand, I've told you this before, you have new skin cells every 28 days. You have new red blood cells every 3 months. You have a new skeleton system. I think it's like every 10 years. You have new lung tissue. You have new heart tissue. You have everything inside your body is constantly replacing itself. Everything inside your body is constantly rejuvenating itself. So if I know, this is the theory that you have to grasp onto. It's super, super simple. If I'm looking at my skin and I know that my skin on the outside is dead, I know that I have 3 layers of skin. And the second layer of skin underneath is where my new skin cells are being born and developed. There's new skin cells being developed there right now, and they're working their way to the surface. If you have damaged skin, this is why I always laugh at skincare products, billion-dollar industry, but yet we treat dead skin from the outside and try to treat it in versus going from the inside out. Everything when it comes to nutrition and health has to be dealt with from the root cause. Everything. The root cause from the inside out. So if I know that I have new skin cells being developed right now, if I choose rocket fuel, if I choose nutrition, meaning vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, that's what my food contains. Those vitamins, minerals, and nutrients are feeding my cells. My new cells are being born in a nutrient-rich environment. So over time, 28 days from now, healthier skin cells. Another 28 days from now, healthier skin cells. Another 28 days from now, even healthier skin cells. Did you ever notice the people on the ERSHRED who have been around for like 6 months, 7 months? You ever notice how they look like they're reversing in age? You ever notice how they have this new glow about them? There's your reason. So if you understand that concept, my face is butter. I love that. If you understand this concept, you now understand why I don't want to make jackass choices when it comes to my nutrition on a daily basis. Because the more times that I choose poison, meaning I consume food that contains zero nutritional value whatsoever, if I do that more times than I choose healthy, my skin's going to look like a raggedy, saggly fill in the blank. Man, these things are so good. If this is my treat, I'm winning. I'm winning. You understand? Okay, that's lifestyle. Now, let me get to athletics. I've been dying about this one. Athletes. I've had people asking me, well, how do I shred if I'm training for a marathon? You don't. You don't change anything while you're training for a marathon, goofball. You do your marathon, and then you adopt a nutrition profile. How do I do shred if I'm 3 weeks away from a bodybuilding contest? Well, if you have to ask that question, you should hire a new coach. With that being said, how do I shred if I'm an athlete? I'm going to take this from the beginner up. We have people that have started in the shred that have literally not exercised in years. We have people who are having breakthroughs of walking a half mile and walking a mile and walking 2 miles after 2 or 3 shreds, after whatever. Now, here's the thing. The shred protocol, as it stands, will work on any human being, whether you're 300 pounds or not, whether you're an athlete or not, because I believe that even Olympic athletes are at a point where if they're eating the traditional way that I was taught as an athlete, I guarantee you, even though they're an epic athlete, their trace mineral levels are off. If we did an IgG test, which is a deep panel blood work, I guarantee you their mineral deposits are not in check. I can almost guarantee you that they have toxins that are stored inside of their fat cells, because unless they're cellular intermittent fasting, there is no other way that you can remove those what used to be called forever toxins that are stored inside the fat cells. You can't get them to release. The only way to get them to release is to shift the body into consuming fat as its energy stores. And during that process of breakdown, when the body is converting the fat to energy, then the oils in the fat will be released into the bloodstream. And when that happens, now we're at a time where we can excrete those toxins out of our body through our bowels. And the amazing Cleanse for Life that we use with the shred, the botanicals that are inside of that are specifically formulated to bind to those toxins and to support the system, our systems, in aiding it and doing its own natural detoxification, which is what the body should do in the first place. Except your liver is so full of fat globules that it can't function the proper way. So while it should be doing that, it's not doing that. And when you shift it over, you will. But as an athlete, you're probably not carrying around a ton of excess body fat. So there's no way to release that. So if you're a person, the shred will work for anybody. But like anything, things need to be tweaked. Things need to be adjusted. Things need to be fit, because we're not all the same. My food could be your poison. If you eat 4,000 calories a day like I eat, training to keep the lean muscle that I have while continually training to be an endurance athlete, and my foundation is that I always say that any given day, I can literally sign up for a 50K, which is 30 miles, and I can smash it. That's the foundation. That's my baseline fitness level. But if I want to keep that up, I need about 4,000 calories of energy a day to maintain the muscle mass, build a little bit more, and maintain the endurance levels that I force my body to maintain. But if you do that, that could be your poison. But eventually you're going to need to learn how to adjust. Now, this is one of the hardest things. First of all, as an athlete, if you're already an athlete, you're going to have to be in an open-minded place to unlearn, to relearn. That's the only way it's going to happen. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but I was at one point in time a very stubborn ass athlete who did not want to hear anybody else's way, who thought they had it all figured out. Ego was in my way. Ego is not our amigo. So if you got a closed-minded person, one, it's not going to work. But as an athlete, you have to be willing to look at the bigger picture and understand why you're choosing to do it. So for me personally, I already explained to you that my number one priority is I do it for health. I do it because I need to be there for me. I need to be there for me so I can be there for others, family, kids, so on and so forth. That's that. As an athlete, I forgot my point I was saying. Oh, for when you're choosing to do this as an athlete, you're understanding that you're choosing a different fueling system. So you're living life learning how to fuel yourself off of sugars and carbohydrates because that's what you were taught. You need carbohydrates as an athlete. Carbohydrates are energy, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's not right. That's just not the answer. So you can do it that way, but I feel, and I've been both for many years, I feel that not only is this easier, but I feel generally in my general health 5 times better. I was already healthy. So for me to feel 5 times better is, I think, pretty freaking good. And I can sustain more and come back faster. Now, as an athlete, if you're an athlete and you're thinking things that I just said to you are mind-blowing. I can sustain longer and I can bounce back faster. As an athlete, you are only as good as your last workout. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It doesn't matter what you did the day before. It matters what you're doing right now. And if I can't rebound, especially in the midst of training, if I can't rebound from the past day's workout to get to the next one and perform that at peak level, how am I going to get any better? So I choose to be fat adapted. And I learned this and tested this in a race called the Georgia Death Race. And it was 78 miles long. It was 17,000 feet of just vertical up and vertical down. It was absolutely crazy. And if I had switched my body over. And if I swear if I wasn't fat adapted based on the temperature, the humidity, the fact that I couldn't consume real food, I know I couldn't have made that race, but yet I did. And I felt like I could have kept going, even though my feet hurt, even though things were there, I felt like I could have because. So as an athlete, that's my bigger reason why. Now, how long does it take to get to fat adapted? This is where every athlete, majority of them so far, have absolutely crashed and burned. You're coming into this thinking that you're going to shift your entire metabolic structure of the way that your body uses energy in 11 days. Not going to happen. You might. If you're an endurance athlete, you are already a pretty good fat burning machine. So your shift process might happen faster, say, than a bodybuilder who has to reshift the metabolic pathways and get their body to convert. So it might take you 11 days. It might take you 21 days. It might take you a little bit over a month. And during that process, it might be the same process as the person who's trying to lose 150 pounds. The process of suffering through the shit and dredging through the mud and understanding that it's okay to not feel good every day, and it's okay to suffer, because you understand that on the other side of suffering is an end goal. Ultramarathon training. On the other side of suffering is the end goal of accomplishment of finishing something that only 1% of the population can do. On the other side of dealing with a couple bad weeks of lacking energy, maybe sore muscles, maybe your workouts aren't as intense as you hope they would be. Oh my God, we get our, oh my God, all my fitness is going to be lost if I don't get it right in 2 weeks. Shut up. My God, you're a rookie. No, it won't. No, it won't. But you understand the bigger picture. So that's that. Also, as an athlete, the only thing that you need to change in order to do the ER shred is you need to eat more calories. Like, it's not rocket science. Like, if a person trying to lose weight is eating a meal, 2 shakes and 1 meal, but yet you're a person who's running X amount of miles, you're engaging in heavy weightlifting, whatever, you just need to add some extra food. Add more meat, add more eggs, add more butter, add more. If you're only in the 11 days, that's that, right? Now, so that's that. Just add more food, add more calories to make up the difference. Like, it's really, really simple. If you're a person that's coming into this and you started off and now all of a sudden you're working out, and you went from 0 workouts to where you're now working out 3 to 5 days a week, you have a challenge ahead of you. And your challenge is you got to get out of your mental mind block that's stopping you from understanding that when you eat more food, you will not get fat, because if you choose to eat the right food, you are now fueling the beast. So people always say to me, especially males, I want to lose fat and gain muscle. Well, first of all, it's 2 totally different metabolic things. Choose one, go in phases, lose fat first, then gain muscle. Makes more sense. But the second thing is that you're going to have to come to the realization that you've been looking at food as the enemy for so many years. And you need to start looking at food as your friend. Food is my friend. Food, when I eat my food, gives me energy. Food helps my muscles recover. Food helps my body repair itself. Food allows my muscles to get stronger and bigger so I can keep going. And you're going to have to come to the realization that you can't just be eating those small amounts anymore, because you're putting more demand on your body. So that's where something which is called TDEE, total daily energy expenditure, comes into play. And your total daily energy expenditure is how much energy, calories, does it require for you to consume for your body to maintain what's called homeostasis. That's the general state of being, breathing, sleeping, moving, eating, chewing, talking, listening, all those good things. Your body needs energy to function. So you need a certain amount of energy to function. And if you're trying to lose weight, you need to be below that threshold by 300 to 500 calories, average. And if you want to gain muscle, you need to be above that threshold, because when you tear down the body, your body needs the energy. Remember, calories is energy. Don't get it confused. It's the same exact thing. A calorie is energy. So your body needs the energy to repair the damage that you caused from your workout. So you have to get in the right mindset to know that when you're eating food, especially if you're hardcore working out and you're eating more food, does that mean that that's permission to be an absolute slob? No. Does that mean that you deserve to drink 3 beers because you worked out really, really hard today at the gym for an hour? No. No. So that's that. So you have to figure that out. Now, if you need to understand more about total daily energy expenditure, the search bar at the top of our group, type in TD Thomas David Echo Echo, and I did a video on how to do your TDEE. Go figure it out if you need to understand where you're at. There's also other things that if you get to a level, like there's everyday athletes, people that love to work out, there's weekend warriors, people that do a little more, and then there's people that go hard 6 days a week and it's their life. It's what you do. There's different levels. And at certain points, like at the high level, there's a lot of other things. There's timing of pre-workout, intra-workout, post-workout fueling, how to get the body ready, how to support it during, how to feed it after. There's timing of, getting in protein before I go to bed. There's timing of making sure I consume something in the time that I wake up. So my muscle's not eating myself. I'm not catabolic and I'm not eating my own muscle. There's all sorts of certain things, but that's at really peak levels. And I don't think you really need to know all that. I don't think that you need to bother yourself with all of that. I think that you need to just get a better relationship with food. I think you need to understand that where food was once your enemy, now that you've appreciated good quality nutrition, you're understanding that when you eat that nutrition, it's only doing good for you. It's only helping you. So that's that. The biggest thing as an athlete is if you're looking to make that shift is going to suck. And if you're not prepared to embrace the suck, don't try it. But if you can embrace the suck, which if you're an athlete, you should be able to embrace the suck. On the other side of the suck is absolute gold. It's like melting butter on a tomahawk steak. That's what it is. Okay. Last tip I want to tell you. If you hit a plateau, there's a lot of people that have been shredding now 4, 5, 6 times. Part of smashing through your plateau is your total daily energy expenditure. Some of you are at a point where you've detoxified yourself so much, there's nothing left to detoxify. Now, does that mean that you want to stop cleansing? No, because you're still breathing in that shit every day. You're still absorbing it through your body, which is why at least once a month as a maintenance is a really healthy thing, or at least once every 2 months, just because, not because we're going to get on the cleanse train, but because we know that we can have autophagy, because we know that we can release those toxins, because we know that we can get our systems functioning better, because we know that we can regulate our hormones. These are reasons why we would choose to do this, not because we're jumping on some bandwagon, because that's stupid. That's not lifestyle. We're doing this because we're making educated decisions. We're doing this because we love ourselves. We're doing this because we care about ourselves. We're doing this because our body's our only body. We're doing this because our health is our greatest wealth. We're doing this because we no longer want to defecate on ourselves anymore. So if you hit a plateau, your body's just stalled, meaning that you probably need more calories. Isn't this the greatest diet in the world? I'm telling you to eat steak. I'm telling you to eat butter, and I'm telling you to eat salt in as much quantity as you want. And I'm telling you that when your body stalls from losing weight, I need you to eat more food. I need you to add more protein. I need you to add a little bit more fat. I need you to stop being scared of eating food. You see, remember, your body needs energy to create magic. Just like your body needs energy to build lean muscle, your body needs good energy, healthy food, to get rid of bad energy, stored body fat. 1 pound of body fat is 3,500 calories. All fat is stored energy. Fat, we as humans are designed to store fat because back in the day when we used to run away from big wolf creatures and like big fanged lions, the fat used to keep us alive in the winter. The fat was utilized. Where now in our sedentary lifestyle and the fact that we can get poison anywhere, even at the auto parts store, that's the difference. That's the difference. Okay. I hope that served you. I hope that brought a lot of good value to you. And I have one last thing. One last thing. If none of that worked, one last thing. I'm going to bring back an old friend of mine. This is a friend that made an appearance in a previous video. And a very tragic thing happened. Very tragic. I love plants. I love plants. I love nature. The more that I specifically try to intertwine my life with how nature works, the better my life gets. The better my life gets. I love plants. I think my mom taught me about plants. My mom, I'm drinking beer, dude. Whoever's that beer. I'm cheersing to all of you. I'm getting drunk on my call. Listen, Mimi, you remember my plant story. You'll remember this story. My plants are the world. Now, I've had some tragedies over time. I've had to get good. And I'm a pretty good green. They call me green thumb now. So we ripped apart the house, right? The first thing to go is our floors. And when you rip apart your floor, dust and just shit that you didn't even know was underneath your floor comes up. My computer's telling me to hurry up. It's going to die. So we ripped up the floors. And when we got back, before the whole renovation, there was dust everywhere. And we put everything up. We moved everything into my garage. By the way, if you notice, I'm back in my spot. This is like my happy spot. My treadmill's not set up yet, but it's my happy spot. So we ripped everything out. We put everything up. And we had these plants. We had these 2 plants. And these plants here, you know these big vine plants, these guys that hang down like this? You know these guys right here? I love this dude. This guy traveled from Maine all the way here. This guy came with us everywhere. And man, all my plants were out on the front porch. My neighbor came. I put everything out there for her. Like I was like, make sure you stick your finger in. Don't overwater them. You know, don't make my leaves brown. Like I was like, all my tricks, I'm like trying to teach her. I'm leaving her like cards. Is that what it's called, Mel? Ivy? I didn't even know. I just love this plant so much. But anyways, so these 2 plants were sitting up in my entryway, and they sit up on the shelf. And we got home, and they were so dusty. Like all my cactus and my little plants, and all the leaves were full of dirt. And if you know anything about plants, like that's not good for the plant because they can't breathe. Like they take in your carbon dioxide. And so we washed them off, and we thought we were doing the right thing, and we put them outside on my back porch. And on my back porch in the second half of the day, the sun gets really, really hot back there. And this poor guy burnt. I don't know if you can see. Do you see some of the char? It's like a fire. So I get back, and this guy used to be longer. He was a lot longer. So this guy, all these things, all these leaves were charred. And you can see I had to snip. We had to snip some of these guys. We had to trim them back. This was a big, long vine. Look how short he is now. There's a point to this. Don't you dare freaking log off. You listen to my plant story because I'm going to help you. Look at all this, right? This plant was charred. Now his brother, this guy's name is Tomahawk, and his brother Ribeye. Ribeye got left on the grill for too long, and Ribeye really burnt. Ribeye was like not even like you wouldn't eat the ribeye. Like Tomahawk was like you could still savor it. You could be like, all right, not my favorite, not medium rare. I'm having trouble hearing you. But ribeye was not good. So unfortunately, ribeye got burnt, and he was like hanging on by like he had two vines off of him, and those vines were still green down the bottom, but they were burnt and charred, and I couldn't even get them to like root. So what we learned is that if you snip these and put them in water, you can actually get, oh, mom, look at my mom. Listen, plant lady, you listen to my story. If you snip these things, you can place these in water and you can actually get the roots to regrow again. You can get the roots to regrow again. So I now have some of these inside in my kitchen. They look beautiful, by the way, draped over my shelves, and they will root. They will root. Do you know how long it will take for them to root? I also have another pot like this, and the only thing left is one, like if I cut this guy right here, it's like a little nub. I call him Nubby now. His name used to be New York Strip, but he's not even, he's called Nubby now. Use aloe vera. Brent, you're a freaking genius, dude. You need to send me that tip, by the way, please. So he's like, I call him Nubby, and his root is, Crystal almost had me throw him out, but his root was so like rooted in there that I was like, oh, hell no, he's still alive. He's still alive. So right now, Nubby is in a big pot, and he's going to get transported. He's going to get transplanted to another pot, and he's going to grow back. And I'm going to talk to them every day, because, when you talk to your plants, you actually, you're not crazy, because remember, plants use water and carbon dioxide to release oxygen, and we use oxygen and water to release carbon dioxide. Meaning, beautiful. When you talk to your plants, you're actually helping them by giving them carbon dioxide. So anyways, my point to this is this. That plant was thriving. I mean, it was literally amazing. It was sad. But I knew exactly what to do. And it's exactly what some of you need to do. You need to realize the situation that you're in. And the situation that plant was in was desperate. It was dire. He needed a lot of TLC. And we trimmed him back, and we cut off all the burn, and we cut off all the char, and we snipped the ones that couldn't be saved. And that plant looks 10 times better today than it did when I first got home. It's been a couple weeks now, and it looks 10 times better. And over time, that plant will grow. And next summer, next spring and summer, I will see new growth on that plant. A lot of it, just like all my other plants. They were like dormant. I was like, damn. And then summer came, and I was like, wait a minute. Plants literally talk to themselves. Do you understand that science has literally traced trees can talk to each other through the roots, just like dolphins have their own language, just like whales have their own language. Nature doesn't screw up. If we can learn to be like nature and be more patient and understand that epic beauty takes time, we need to keep, if I stopped giving this guy sun and I stopped giving him water when he needed water, what would happen to my tomahawk? He would turn in to a feedlot sirloin. He wouldn't be a grass-fed tomahawk anymore. And if you don't choose, you might not see the results as fast as you want to see them, and that's okay. You might not get to where you want to get to as fast as you want, and that's okay. Learn to embrace the suck. Learn to strip back the bad. Eliminate the culprits. Eliminate the non-needed energy. If I left the burnt on there, the plant would be trying to save something that was not salvageable. Eliminate the bad. Reset. Give it some nutrients. Give it some minerals. Make sure it has the water it needs. Make sure I talk to it. Make sure its leaves are cleaned. Make sure that it has sunlight. Allow it to go through a season, and then another season, and then another season. And in 3 seasons from now, I'll be coming back to you with a plant that's hanging from my ceiling to my floor. And in 3 seasons from now, where will you be? Will you be growing? Will you have new growth every season? Will you allow yourself the time that it takes? Will you just understand the bigger picture? Will you understand the bigger process that we're going for? This isn't some 11-day Instagram fad. This isn't some 11-day, my skinny bunny at my skinny bunny told you to do. This isn't the cleanse that you can do where it melts your body fat away in 2 seconds. This is long-term health. This will epically change your life. But you got to commit. You got to stay in it for the long haul. You got to understand the balance. You got to understand there's nothing wrong with going through the bad to get to the good. You got to understand that every now and then you got to learn that when things happen, you use your tools, you use your tool belt, you pull out the tools necessary, you make the adjustments, you clip back, you pull back what's needed, you give more of what's missing, and in time, things will flourish. And you, my friends, can do the same. I thank you for your time. I know I went over. I hope this brought massive, massive value to you. This will be up on our YouTube channel. This will be on the podcast for you to listen to again. If you think of any other questions that you need me to go over for you, please put them in the comments below. Do me a favor, tag at least one person that you know that needs to hear this, that maybe is struggling, that came on, that fell off, whatever the case may be. Tag that person and let's keep sharing the shred. It is our duty to share the shred because I know that when people become healthy, we can make the world a better place. I love every single one of you. I appreciate you all. I hope you all have an amazing, epic night. Bye-bye.